I think item number 5 can be continued indefinitely. I don't think that's an issue anymore. Again, Mr. Guertin and Mr. DeMaire was able to raise 100% of the funds, so none of it has to come from town funds, which is great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'll entertain a motion to continue item number 5 indefinitely.
So moved.
Motion to me.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 6, the North Smithfield Parks and Rec initiative to run programs, classes in conjunction with and support by NSPS. Ms. Lilley, sorry it's been a little longer meeting than we expected, but thank you for coming.
Thanks for jumping ahead.
So, Ann Lilley is a recent addition to Parks and Rec Commission, and she's come with some great ideas, and you're about to hear of one of them. And we have, the Parks and Rec Commission has discussed this at our meetings, and we've endorsed what she's going to bring forth, so thank you for giving her a chance to speak.
Thanks. I just wish I had warning ahead of time that this was going to be a Kleenex kind of meeting. I could have used one. But I've been working just started with the Parks and Rec, but previously I've been working with Engage North Smithfield, had attended meetings where a lot of people from the community had shown up and had talked about things that they wanted to do as a community. And some of those items had then come up were things like doing art classes, gardening, cooking, a lot of community building activities where people could do recreationally together, get to know each other. And so I joined the Parks and Rec Committee really with the intention of trying to push that type of activities going forward. So unfortunately in this town we have a limited number of spaces that we can conduct these types of classes or workshops, and the schools really are a resource that would really help us a lot to do that, especially when we start talking about classes like art, print workshops, that type of thing, which can be a little on the messy side, so maybe not appropriate to do in a really nice location. But in an art classroom that's already existing in a school where it's easy to clean up, you have sinks, that would be more possible. The same thing with things like cooking, which a lot of people have shown interest in. So I was proposing, we've actually already started with Parks and Rec. We have some activities that are already scheduled to go into Scouters Fall, which is somewhat available on Saturdays, but not during the weeknights, which would be key for adults. So we're doing a Master Gardeners Workshop in September, and we're doing one with the Rhode Island Resource Recovery on worm composting as well at Scouters Fall in late September. So what I was coming to you was to get some ideas and to see if there was any support from this board as far as using the school system to run these types of workshops and classes. What do you think?
You go ahead first, but I think that's something
Okay. Well, very briefly, members of the committee, I really support this concept, this idea. You know, we've tried this a couple of times, the nightlife committee, different variations of it. Talking to Mr. Lee, and this is another approach, but I think that it's a good approach. Working with, doing Parks and Rec, I think that opens up a lot of opportunities and a lot of options. That again, I really believe in combining things. For example, we do the free throw shooting competition here. It's the nights, but it's also with NSAA and some other groups, and doing it with other groups is the way to do it. We're a small town, and I'm very much supportive of this idea. And the only thing I would say for ideas, I can expand to some of our, I have plenty of ideas to give. Ms. Lilley and I have talked quite a bit, actually.
He lives down the street from me.
So I just want to say, I really think this is a great idea, and it's something we've tried in the past. I think this approach is working. It's certainly worth trying. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to second that. Actually, Mr. Cannell and I, along with Ms. Mayo, tried to put something together a couple of years back. Similar to this, it just didn't work out because we couldn't find public support at the time. So to have you come here tonight and talk about this program is really exciting. And in terms of support for using the school buildings, I mean, I'm fully in support of that if that's what you're asking for. I think that's what these buildings are really for when we are not teaching students in them. I think we have a whole community, and we should use this whole community to the betterment of that community. And in terms of different programs and things like that, I would recommend reaching out to the team over at St. Antoine's. They have a fully functioning activities team there, especially in the villa side. And like, for example, I worked in assisted living for a number of years. We would do cooking programs, we would do art programs, we would do all these different types of things. And so that's a really nice place to start, would be to engage with the team over there and see if they have any space to share, which they might, especially later in the day, where they're not typically doing too many activities out for the residents. And then if they'd be willing to, if not share space, maybe share supplies or resources or the names of the people they use to do their programs. So that's where I was.
I was just going to mention, you mentioned some of your activities might be a little on the messier side. What about some of the classrooms at Hallowell? Since now the kids are not there, they're available during the day, and if you do have an activity that tends to be more on the messier side, I know some classrooms are better than others, but I don't know if that
certainly be glad to see
would
that,
fit.
because
I know they have
make a recreational center down there, but I'm not sure about how we would go about using that, but definitely look into that. I do have to say, I live on Maple Avenue, and one of my neighbors who lives on Roselawn, which is up against the back of Hallowell, had mentioned that kids have been hanging out there. So I think just keeping a presence and some kind of activities going would be helpful for that location, I think, and more eyes on it from the community. And it is kind of hidden down there. So definitely anything you have, because I will actually ask each and one of you, every one of you, if you want to teach a class. I am going to. I want our instructors, at least to start with, to be volunteers, so we can maybe just charge a materials fee and keep everything as cheap as possible. I have people who are interested in teaching things like batch cooking. I have pressured somebody into teaching how to make your own detergent, so you don't have to buy plastic anymore. Just all kinds of different ideas that people might be interested in. So if you have ideas or you want to teach something, I'd be glad to talk to you.
So just to be clear, all of these will be sponsored by, all of these programs will be sponsored by Parks and Recreation.
That's correct.
So we have a Parks and Rec coordinator in town, Kate Pasquarillo, who could have the ability to sign people up, if you will, and help to manage the programs in conjunction with what Dan is proposing. So, it's kind of at its infancy as far as the discussion goes, but we do think we have an infrastructure to support it.
And I'm sorry if you mentioned this and I missed it, but have you engaged with the library at all?
No, and I have to say that's a bad on my part, because I think that some of the things that we're doing could possibly overlap. In fact, the class aid schedule for Master Gardeners is unfortunately very much like one that they're having the next week. So I really need to talk to them and make sure that we're not stepping on each other's toes. I've also talked to the recreation person over in Burrillville to just kind of pick their brains about what they do. And kind of the concept that maybe if they have a real popular program over there, that maybe we can get that instructor to come over here, or vice versa, or advertise. I mean, we can commute to Burrillville sometimes, so it's possible that they might come over here for some of our classes, and they could go over there.
Oh, yeah, they would. And Karen Armstrong over at the Smithfield Senior Center, I'm sure it's the same thing. They have programs that they do over there that I'm sure happy to bring over here. And in terms of the library, you have 2 trustees sitting on this board for the library, so if you ever want to come and talk to the whole board, just...
That's great, and I really wanted to say that I think this type of activity could be a real community builder, that when we look to the future about building a new school or whatever is going to be coming along, we need to be a group. And this is the way to build it. So, if any of you would like to give me your phone number so I can text you later, I would appreciate that. But also, I can give you my email, and I can just hunt Bill down anytime I want. But
Just our emails are online. Our emails are online.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can give you my phone number too. But if you,
Okay. All right. Well, I will check in later because I have to go to New Hampshire tonight. So, but thank you so much for your time, and I really look forward to starting to run some things here with the school buildings. I really appreciate that.
If I may ask, so I don't think the committee agrees, when you're ready, could you put together some type of proposal, use proposal, more than, anything we'd like to use this room on this day, on every Thursday.
use the facilities.
Use the facilities across here.
There's a form.
Like a local
Right, I
slide.
have a copy of the form.
I'm looking more for a plan at this point, just to see how often it would be used, if we could fit it within certain schedules, that maybe January here, rather than recall it.
It sounded more like she's looking for evening classes.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really trying to target adults, and so the evenings are probably the best time. There might be some activities that are going on during the Saturday. For instance, I want to talk to the skyscrapers in Situate that do the astronomy and see if they could set up some night games sometime. But that could be like on the football field or something, or at a farm. But I think most of the time, I think the weeknights would probably be it.
I guess, the other thing for the high school, I understand fully what you're saying about what you were referring to about having the janitors and open the place. The school, especially the high school, because I think the library might be a good place for a lot of these things, because you're going to have the adults in the library at the high school, it's easier. You don't have to go to the second floor to where you're going to here. I just think it's easy to have them closer to the entrance so they're not walking for 2 months of the school. The school's jumping it. I mean, between all the sports teams, there's tons of the high school jumping all the time. It really is. It's amazing how active that place is. And the only thing, and in fact, on the library, also on the board, I believe, didn't you speak to the library board a few years back about trying to do something like superintendent? Didn't you speak to them about something?
Yeah, I mean, we've been looking on and off at this exact thing. My previous district, we used to have Wednesday night was parent university. And we had hundreds of parents coming into Calcutt Middle School, and they were taking classes, and eventually did a graduation at Rhode Island College. We had kids in there. We had, there were a lot of things. So we're very much in favor of this. I would like to go with Mr. Seepy and Mr. McGee and actually discuss some of the logistics of this. The other thing is that one of the things that we have to look at going down is we have to review our use of facilities because we don't have necessarily a category for this. And so there's the question of charging, cleaning up, not charging, taking it on our own staff to do. So, I mean, we have some logistical things, but, conceptually, absolutely. Our buildings are the heart of the community, and they should be used accordingly.
So would it make it easier if we were to just choose, say, Thursday or Wednesday or whatever day, and just say maybe on a consistent basis?
That actually would be.
To focus
yes.
on that?
Right. But we can discuss this. And again, I've done this in other districts, and we've had this on the burner for quite a while, so we can accommodate
like
this.
to hear what was working well for your other districts
Right.
too. There might be something that I don't even think of.
No,
So,
absolutely.
like I would never have thought people painted with flag football. So, that's a real moneymaker, so.
And I started thinking about maybe volunteering for a photography class, and I can also read chainmail.
Which could be helpful in flag
Which could be helpful, so,
Yeah.
just saying this as an example. Don't write it down, don't start emailing me. Let's get this thing set up first, okay?
Yes, and we can have our own Comic-Con someday.
Yes.
I want to see next graduation in full suit of armor. That's what I'm waiting for.
Okay, you know, you guys are more creative than I thought, so this is great. This is really great. All right, well, thank you so much, and I will be contacting you and being in touch with you, but thank you.
Thank you.
And Peyton, Mr. Eggs, right?
If I could add just two things. So since Ann joined Parks and Rec and kind of helped bring this idea along, if you look up the definition of recreation, although I'm a big fan of youth sports and active recreation, it's got a lot of different connotations. And I think Ann is helping us recognize that there's much more to it than just kicking a ball around. So thank you for supporting anything she's going to help drive. And I also failed to mention the plan for the monument is Mr. Tech was good enough to put together. Is it still in the works, man? Are we still?
2 of the 3 games are confirmed.
We're still set?
Yep.
Excellent. So on Saturday, September 28th, we will have a triple header at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Girls soccer, boys soccer, and then between the boys soccer game and the football game at 6 o'clock, we plan to have the unveiling of the monument and hopefully get the whole town there. So, thanks again.
Mr. Guertin, did you just say that the 28th? I have it on my schedule. Great, thank you. No, most sorry. And so that's 6 p.m. All right. Anybody else have any comments? All right. So I'll move. There's no objection. I'd like to move to number 10, award of electrical power supply agreement. I can talk about this. So at the last meeting, so let me go back a little bit. Before the last meeting, there was a request to sign a power purchase agreement under an emergency contract situation. I did not do that. I brought it to the committee. The committee authorized me to sign the contract. And gave me some broad authority to sign it. Unfortunately, when I contacted our advisor, and that was on the next day, he said it was basically too late. So whatever deal that was presented to us was off the table. And that's not what I was told, but I guess it is. So what happened was he said that the next time he was going to bid this contract was in September. I believe that's totally unacceptable, in my opinion. When I asked for his contract, I found out that it was a 2012 contract and it was on automatic extensions. I have a problem with that because I think that violates state law and court decisions, and I'm not blaming anyone for doing that. It's just you can't have a current authority to sign a contract with that actual authority, and there was no actual authority after the 3-year period. So you can't bind future school committees to this. So let me go back. So I'm back, and I called. What happened was I called the League of Cities and Towns. They have a program that does what the Silent Surfer does, and also provides a power agreement. For the record, it's my understanding that the town is going to them, and at the time, unbeknownst to me, the city of Providence. I asked them for pricing. They bid it every day, so they got a price every day. Pricing was higher. It was, at least if you can correct me, approximately $7,000 higher per year. We pay Silent Surfer $10,000, so if we eliminate that contract, there's a net gain of $3,000 a year. And if you recall, the contract that I refused to sign, I was uncomfortable with. Many of the protections I asked for are with the League of Cities and Towns. I know that the contract's before you, a summary of the contract, and a letter from the League of Cities and Towns. As I mentioned, it's more money, but again, we do get similar services that prevent from silence, CERCLA, whatever it's the name of the companies. I just wanted to present it to you. I would recommend that we approve the contract, and we'll deal with silent CERCLA when it comes to the one-year automatic renewed contract, which we can take up next. And I know the administration may have some concerns, so if you want to state those, you can state them.
No concerns.
Okay, so, oh, and let me just follow up. So, just, I'm going to say last week, I did reach out to our contractor, Silent Surfer, and I said, you think you can give me some updated price? I asked him a number of questions that I learned from the League of Cities and Towns, and everything seemed okay. So I asked him, could you give me some updated numbers? And he said, now I'm going on, and I got this all in writing, I'm going on vacation. Okay, you can't give me updated, I mean, I get them daily from the League of Cities and Towns, and unfortunately,